We'll move on now briefly to the FA Cup games. It's the fifth round it was this weekend. We had 5 games on Saturday, 3 today on Sunday. Saturday lunchtime, Chelsea and Birmingham drew 1-1 at Stamford Bridge, and obviously an excellent result for Birmingham. Chelsea's problems continue. It was not a good display from Chelsea, certainly not in the first half. Birmingham probably deserved the lead at half time. Murphy got the goal, poorly defended corner from Chelsea, couldn't get it clear, it went all the way through. Murphy slotted it home on the far post. In the second half, Chelsea came out, Drogba came on for Torres. They started to play a little bit better and probably deservedly got the equaliser. Excellent header from Daniel Sturridge after a good cross from Ivanovic. So that finished 1-1. Credit to Birmingham. I must say I do feel a little bit, I felt a little bit sorry for Birmingham after they got relegated from the Premier League last season, after of course winning the Carling Cup as well. And I think they lost something like half their squad in the summer transfer window. But you know, some people said they would struggle to stay in the Championship, but they're right up there. They've played a lot of games. They had a run in the Europa League as well, having a good run in the FA Cup, and they've got themselves a home replay against Chelsea, and you never know. If they play like they did at Stamford Bridge, they've definitely got a chance. So yeah, as for Chelsea, I think they need to stick with Villas-Boas. Every team's going to go through bad patches. I hope they stick with him. He seems like a nice personality. I like the way he addresses the media, but I do think that Chelsea will be hard pushed to finish in the top 4 this season, and I also don't think that Napoli will be particularly afraid, having seen that performance, or indeed any of Chelsea's recent performances. So on with the FA Cup, we had Everton beating Blackpool 2-0, 2 goals in the first 7 minutes from Royston Drenthe and Dennis Stracqualursi. I think Everton have obviously been on a really good run of late. They've beaten Chelsea and Man City at home, moving up the table, well clear of the relegation zone. They've made a couple of good signings in the January transfer window. Obviously Jelavic is the main one from Rangers, but also Stephen Pienaar they've got back. They did have Landon Donovan briefly on loan from LA Galaxy. He is now, I believe, returned to America. But I definitely think Pienaar seems to have made a good impact. Jelavic hasn't played too much, and Stracqualursi, actually, was he January, or was he? I think he might have been January. But yeah, he's not your typical Argentinian player, but he seems perfectly suited to the Premier League style of play. I've been really impressed with him so far. And Blackpool, their main aim obviously this season is to get back into the Premier League there. Other FA Cup fixtures, we had Millwall 0, Bolton 2, goals from Miachi, who I believe is on loan from Arsenal to Bolton Wanderers, and David Ngog. A fairly comfortable victory from Bolton. Norwich 1, Leicester City 2. Disappointing for Norwich, because obviously their main aim at the start of the season was to stay in the Premier League. They're already almost at the 40-point mark. I believe they're 8th or 9th in the Premier League at the moment, so it would be nice to have a cup run. I think they're almost definitely going to be in the Premier League next season. But credit to Leicester, they took the lead through St Ledger, and then Houlihan equalised, and David Nugent got the winner in the 71st minute, and that was a good performance from Leicester. Beckford had another good game. Norwich weren't at their best. Could have finished in a draw quite easily, but credit to Leicester, and they are, I believe, the only Championship team definitely through to the quarterfinals. Then we had Sunderland beating Arsenal 2-0, and what can you say about this, really? Arsenal fans won't want me to say a lot about this. It just goes from bad to worse, really. They weren't much better than they were in midweek against AC Milan. Massive credit to Sunderland. I think they're so well organised under Martin O'Neill, so hard to break down. Arsenal obviously won at Sunderland in the Premier League last weekend, but this display was just really not what they were looking for. A couple of decisions maybe went against them. Van Persie could have got a penalty. There was a couple of the goals for Sunderland. Richardson's goal was probably going wide, got deflected off Squalacci, and then Arsenal pressed forward for the winner in the last 10 minutes, and Sunderland ended up getting a goal on the break, ended up an own goal from Oxlade-Chamberlain, which was pretty unlucky, just got caught underneath his legs. Sunday's games in the FA Cup, we had 3 games. Crawley Town against Stoke City was the early kick-off, and this was an eventful game. Stoke did go down to 10 men after only 25 minutes or so. Delap got a red card. We're beginning to see more and more of these in the Premier League, in the Championship, just everywhere. These challenges where the referee gives a straight red for an over-the-top challenge with the studs up. For me, this was a harsh decision. Probably was a yellow card. The Crawley manager, whose name I can't remember, is it Steve Evans? He pretty much ran out on the pitch after he saw it, screaming for the red card. And I think it was a 4th official actually who, probably, to be fair, had a better view than the referee. I think he was the one who told the referee to send him off. And Pulis was obviously furious and really expected Crawley to push on. And although they had most of the possession, completed twice as many passes, the stats don't always tell the truth, because Stoke really looked comfortable in this game. Questions about the penalty kick just before half time. It was a turning point. Jonathan Walters put it away. So Shawcross gets bundled over in the penalty box. Well, apparently bundled over. It was a strange one because the Crawley player, almost as though he went to clear the ball, and then Shawcross managed to get his body in between the Crawley player and the ball, so he ended up sort of kicking the back of his leg a bit. Probably was a penalty. Walters blasted home the penalty, and then shortly after the second half started, Crouch scored a header off I believe it was a Whelan free kick. Just Crouch, you can't really mark that guy. He likes using his arms, does Peter Crouch, and even then, he's going to get a jump on you if he doesn't, you know, have his arms all over you. And it was a simple header from a few yards out. Crouch got man of the match as well. Crawley were really restricted to shooting from distance from then on. Stevenage against Tottenham, this was just a really dull game. Excellent if you're a Stevenage fan or player or whatever, but if you're a Tottenham fan or a neutral, this is one to forget. It wasn't a good quality game. But Stevenage get themselves a replay at White Hart Lane. Tottenham weren't very good. The pitch wasn't very good. That's about all you can say. Stevenage deserved the draw. They worked hard. They didn't have enough quality to score. They never really looked like scoring. Spurs had 1 goal disallowed. Saha, 5 yards out, just prodded it home, but it hit Scott Parker on the line, which was very unlucky because it was going in without Parker there. If Parker hadn't been there, it would have gone in, but it hits off Parker, goes in, and of course Parker, being on the goal line, he's offside. Goal didn't count. It was fairly unlucky, but the right decision, a good decision from the officials. Liverpool 6, Brighton and Hove Albion 1 was the final game, and things are really looking good for Liverpool. Recently, they're obviously in the Carling Cup final next Sunday. They're only just off 4th spot, and now they're in the quarter-final of the FA Cup. And this was 6-1. It could have been 10. Skirtle gave Liverpool the lead after 5 minutes. Just ran to the near post off a corner, flicked it in. Keeper had no chance. And then really the first chance Brighton had, they scored, which was the Luar free kick. Excellent free kick, must be said. Not quite sure where the wall went for Liverpool. Might be an idea to set that up properly next time, because it just went straight through the middle of it. Reina had no chance. But then another corner, Liverpool get the lead just before half time. A Bridcut own goal ends up being. I think Liverpool deserved the 2-1 lead at half time. After that, Brighton played some nice stuff, but they were so open at the back. Carroll then made it 3-1. An excellent finish from him. And then we had another own goal from Bridcut. Yeah, Gerrard took it round the keeper and it just hit him on the line. And then another own goal. This one was quite hilarious. The keeper the keeper had a poor game, the Brighton keeper, it must be said. He's come for it, hasn't claimed it. And then Dunk tried controlling it in his own 6-yard box, and it's just bounced off his knee and just crept over the line. Quite an embarrassing one. Then Suarez missed a penalty after Kaut was brought down, but Suarez still got his goal. Assist from Andy Carroll, who headed it far post back into Suarez, and that was 6-1.